5 decades after a brutal murder, a Northeast Oklahoma woman's family finally has closure. In 1973, the body of Georgie Cannaday was found in her rural Delaware County home, and until recently, her killers remained a mystery. And while advances in forensic sciences are certainly useful, investigators say it was old-fashioned police work and help from the community that solved this 50-year-old cold case. In part 2 of a special report, KSN's Jeremiah Cook shows us how investigators were able to solve that mystery.
We never thought that it would ever be solved in our lifetime.
It took decades, but Wanda Forster and the rest of Georgie Cannaday's family can now move forward, knowing Georgie's killers have been identified.
After 50 years, we know who committed the crime, and we know how it was committed.
Christina Asp, Georgie's great niece, says that for the family, it began with a phone call.
One night I said, let's just call the cold case people in Oklahoma and see what they say, see what they'll tell us, you know.
What she didn't know was that Delaware County Sheriff James Beck was placing a special emphasis on closing cold cases like Georgie's.
And part of the reason why it was near and dear to me is I actually have a cold case in my own family from years ago whenever I was very young.
And investigators knew it wouldn't be a simple task.
Originally, whenever we were looking at it, I thought it was going to be very difficult, and I was not sure if it could be solved because there was a lot of things that we could not find for whatever reasons those may be. We didn't have a lot to go with.
Cold case investigators with the Delaware County Sheriff's Office say they decided to approach it just like any other case. But a 50-year-old case does present unique challenges.
There was no file. All we had was a picture from a tweet that OSBI had sent out a very long time ago.
Bishop says piecing together the information they needed came through exhaustive searches of files from several agencies and even internet databases, often with little to no results.
I discovered it's because Georgie's name is spelled differently every time, and sometimes she's Georgie, sometimes she's Georgia.
But a combination of those efforts and an article on 4stateshomepage.com helped turn the tables.
We got a call the following Monday, which really set the case off in a very fast-paced manner and resulted in new interviews, redoing old case files, and solving the case.
One of those calls, a woman who says her father heard a deathbed story from a man who confessed to killing Georgie, and that gave Wall a new avenue to pursue.
He had a certain type of assault he liked to do on individuals and had done it on several people and was very skilled at it.
Investigators have identified 2 men they believe to be responsible for Georgie's death, both of whom are deceased. And while they haven't released those names to the family, there's still a sense of closure and a feeling that Georgie can finally rest in peace.
It was like I knew who I felt had done it, and thank God, you know, they finally proved it. And nobody is relieved who did it, but in my mind, I know who did it.
And investigators say it's possible they'll release the names of the killers to the family in the future on the condition that they keep that information confidential.